Hello everyone, greetings of the day. In the previous lecture, we have discussed one of the software process model, that is generic process model. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the another software process model, that is the waterfall model. In today's lecture, we are going to cover the given topics, subtopics, the waterfall model. Then we are going to discuss the applications of waterfall model, means where we can use the waterfall model. Then advantages of waterfall model and the disadvantages of waterfall model. Let us start with the waterfall model. The waterfall model. If you observe the diagram, then you can see the different phases we have arranged as a top down approach. Means after each phase you see the next stage we have executed. There are 6 stages that can be uh, executed or that can be uh, followed in the waterfall model. The first phase is that the requirement analysis, that is requirement gathering and analysis. After this stage, we are going to perform the system design stage. After completing the system design stage, we are going to perform the implementation stage. After completing the implementation, the fourth stage will be executed, that is the integration and testing stage. In fourth, deployment. After fourth, the deployment of system will be executed. And at the last of all these stages, we are going to perform the maintenance stage or the maintenance phase. If you observe the diagram, you will observe that all these stages are arranged in a such a way that it is like a waterfall. The name given to this model, waterfall, is on the same reason because it looks like a waterfall model. And one more thing that we should understand, that the waterfall model, as water can flow from top to bottom only, we cannot make it reverse flow, right? It will always flow from top to bottom. Likewise, these phases can be executed from top to bottom only. You cannot reverse any stage. Means once you have completed the implementation stage, then you cannot go back to the system design. Means every stage, or at every stage, once the first stage is completed, you can move forward to the next stage, and once you have completed that stage, you cannot go back to the previous stage. That's why this model is called as waterfall model. Means in this waterfall model, you just have to go through the sequence and you just have to complete your previous stage. After completing on that stage, you just have to jump to the next stage. So these are the 6 phases that can be implemented or that can be followed as an waterfall model to develop any kind of software. So we will see what kind of task or what kind of operations that can be performed in each stage. So the first stage is there, that is requirement gathering and analysis. In the previous lecture, we discussed the generic process model. In that, there is communication stage. The same things can be carried out in the requirement gathering and analysis. That is nothing but to communicate with the customer and get the requirements, all the possible requirements of the system to be developed that can be captured in this phase. Means we are going to communicate with the our customer, and we are going to collect all the requirements that customer wants into his software, and those requirements can be documented in a requirement specification document. So this is the first phase, requirement gathering and the analysis. Then second phase is there, that is system design. What we are going to do in the system design, the required document specification is there. The requirement specification document, the first phase we are going to study all those requirements. In this phase, the document can be used to develop or to prepare the system design, and this system design will help us to specify the hardware and the system requirement that are required to develop that software. And it also helps in defining the overall system architecture. Means by using the system design, we are going to define the overall system architecture for that software. Then next stage is there, that is implementation stage. Once we have completed our system design, then we can start with our implementation. Okay, by using that system design, with the inputs from that system design, the system is first developed in the small programs. In implementation phase, we are going to develop the small programs that are called as unit, which are integrated in the next phase. Means once the implementation phase is over, in next phase we are going to integrate all those small units of programs into a single program. Then each unit is developed and tested for the functionality. In the implementation phase, each unit is developed and tested for the functionality, and which is prepared as a unit testing. In the implementation phase itself, the small units that we are going to write with the help of system design, that programs we are going to test as an with the functionality, and which is referred as a unit testing. Now we have all those units or all those small programs ready with us in the implementation phase. This implementation phase is nothing but our coding, right? So small programs we have with us. Now once this task is completed, we will move forward to the another phase of this waterfall model, and that is nothing but integration and testing. In this phase, all the units that are developed in the implementation phase are integrated into a system, right? One single system that programs will be integrated, and before that, obviously we are going to testing each of unit, the integrated into a system. After testing of each unit, we are testing it before the integration. Post integration, the entire system is again tested for any fault and failure. Means if you observe carefully, in the implementation phase, all the small units that we are going to develop, we are going to test those as an unit testing. And in the integration and testing phase also, once we have integrated all those units, after that, post integration also, the entire system is going to be tested for faults and failure. Now we have integrated all the units and we have some software with us. The next phase that we are going to perform is deployment of system. What is this deployment? This deployment is nothing but installing your system or the software on the customer's side. Okay, once the functional and the non-functional testing is done, we are going to perform the functional and non-functional testing. The product is deployed on the customer's environment, and it is known as deployment of the system. It is released in the market. That is also known as deployment of the system. So the deployment of system could be done after the integration of that software and testing. So deployment of system is there. Once we finish this system, then last phase of this waterfall model comes, that is maintenance. In some cases, what happen, whenever we deploy the system on the customer's environment, there may come some issues at the client environment. Okay, so we may face some kind of issues at the client's environment. So to fix those issues, we can release the patches. Also to enhance the product, some better versions are released. That comes under the maintenance. Some kinds what happen, the customer requires some additional functionality to add in his software. That's so it is also comes under the maintenance. Maintenance is done to deliver the changes in the customer's requirement. So These are the phases that can be carried out under the waterfall model, and this is maintenance is the last phase that we can carry out in the waterfall model. I hope you have understand. The next phase is next is there, that is applications, means where we can implement the waterfall model in the software software process models, means software development. The first is whenever the requirements are very well documented, clear and fixed, then only we can use the waterfall model. Then product definition is stable. Technology is well understood and it is not dynamic, because in dynamic technology the requirements are keep changing, right? But in this waterfall model we cannot change our requirements, we cannot change the previous stages, or we cannot update the previous stages, so that technology is well understood and it is not dynamic. Then where we can use this waterfall model is there are no ambiguous requirement. When the requirements are not ambiguous, then the project is short. Whenever the project is short, at that time also, or at the same time, you can use this waterfall model. At the complex projects you cannot use this waterfall model. Then next is there, that is advantages. There are some major advantages of the waterfall model are given below. The first advantage is this waterfall model is simple and easy to understand, and also it is very easy to use. Then next is there, that is it is easy to manage due to the rigidity of the model. The model provides the rigidity, means at each stage you have to perform some specific task, and no changes are allowed in any kind of phase. So this is, it is very easy to manage due to its rigidity. Then phases are processed and completed at one at a time. As discussed previous, I told you once we have finished the first stage, then only we are going to start with the another phase, means we are going to perform a single phase, and the same phase can be processed at the one time. Once we complete the one phase, then only we are going to perform the another phase. Then next is their next advantage, it works well in the smaller project where requirements are very well understood, right? So whenever the requirements are very well understood and the projects are small, at that time only we are going to use this waterfall model. All the phases are clearly defined, the stages. Then next is there, that is well understood milestones. This is also one of the advantage. Then easy to arrange task. By using this waterfall model we can arrange the task. Then process and results are well documented. All the processes and results are well documented, as in the first two phases we are going to define all the requirements and the system design of your software. Okay, so these are the advantages. Also we are having some different kind of disadvantages with this waterfall model. That is, no working software is produced until the late during the life cycle, means you cannot process a software or any software in the earlier stages of this software. Once you have finished all those stages, after that only the working software can be produced, right? After the maintenance phase or the deployment phase only you are going to get the working software. As all the phases are flows from top to bottom, we cannot get the working software. Then the next disadvantage is high amount of risk and uncertainty. This is the advantage. The next disadvantage is not a good model for complex and object oriented projects. This waterfall model can be used on the small projects only. The complex and object oriented projects are not suitable to use the waterfall model. Then poor model for long and ongoing project. The same thing is there. The ongoing projects, the requirements are updated continuously. In those kind of projects you cannot use this waterfall model. This can be a poor model for long and ongoing projects. Then next is not suitable for the projects where requirements are at the moderate to the high risk of changing. Means whenever are the projects in which your requirements are keep changing, at that stages or at that projects you cannot use this kind of software development model, waterfall model. The next is there, that is it is difficult to measure the progress within the stages. As we have completed the stage, and whenever you are going to perform the next stage, then only you can measure the progress of your previous stage. So it is very difficult to measure the progress within the stages, because you cannot get the idea about the next stage. Then next is there, that is cannot accommodate the changing requirements. The same things, the changing requirements are, if requirements are changing, you cannot accommodate these changing requirements. Then next is adjusting scope during the life cycle can end the project. So these are the some of the major disadvantages of the waterfall model. I hope you have understood. In today's lecture we have studied the waterfall model, then the advantages, disadvantages, along with the where we can use the waterfall model, that is applications of waterfall model. I hope you have understood this. In next lecture we will discuss the next